Now, anybody remember this? Gay Smith is out there. She remembers this from our early days together. We did a book in 1993 called Together We Can, which talked about education and human services collaboration. And it laid out a process, and I don't have a lot more time, so I'm going to not just quickly walk you through this, but these are stages that we saw local community collaborations going through, right? And I see this everywhere I go, right? Getting together. A few people sort of figure out they want to do something, right? The school superintendent reaches out to the business leader, talks to the director of health affairs at the big hospital system, talks to a minister, and they say, something's not right. Who else do we need to have a conversation about? And they build trust and ownership because this is an act of shared creation. And along the way, they're always reflecting on what they do. They're stepping back and saying, where are we? What else do we have to do? Have we hit all the right spots? They think strategically about what they want to do. They implement, they learn from that implementation, and they try to move to scale. Now, there's been a lot of collaboration around the country over the last 15 years. And this conversation today makes me hopeful that it's getting more deeply into our culture. But this process keeps going on, and you see where at the end it says going to scale and getting together again? These processes don't end. I said earlier, there's an ongoing. But you reach a higher level, or perhaps a deeper level of being able to work together, where people can be increasingly honest with each other about the tough challenges that you face, where people are willing to talk about the persistent poverty that still plagues the state of Georgia and other states and other cities all across America as part of this challenge. So this little spiral, and it is kind of, it moves like that, right? You slide up, you move up, you slide back. You're always moving in one direction or another. By the way, this will be on the Georgia Partnerships website, and I'll also send a link to the whole paper that we did. So when I think about the school as a center of community, I'm going to do this quickly. A lot of my work these days centers around how do we collaborate around the education of our kids, and our schools are pivotal institutions in making that happen. So this next couple of things gives you a sense of what we have found is crucial to make that happen. First of all, you've got to have community leadership. And what does community leadership do? It does some of the things that I talked about in terms of collaboration. And I've got to sync this language a little bit better, so I apologize for that. But it thinks about sharing resources. It thinks about developing resources. It thinks about results. It thinks about oversight and making it work. And there are the examples of the constituencies that have to be at the table. And then we need leadership at the school level. This all doesn't happen from the top. There's a real place called school where this happens. And at that level, people need to focus on results, mobilize their community assets, align and integrate, right? How many of you work in schools where there are lots of partners, right? Or no schools? And how many of you know schools where all the partners talk to each other and think strategically about what they're trying to do, right? Now, Neil Shorthouse is going to raise his hand. I know that, because that's what communities in schools is about. But a lot of times we have a lot of chaos and a lot of incoherence going on. We've got to avoid that. And again, principals, coordinators, families, teachers, all in this enterprise together. But somebody's got to glue this together. I haven't quite gotten the graphic right. This is supposed to be a piston, all right? Goes up and down. Fuels what happens at the top and at the bottom, right? And that's what we need to create in our communities. Sustained community leadership vehicles that worry about the relationship and the connection of our schools to our communities.